my
Pooja, Rahil, Maitri and Nazma. All of us express our heartfelt condolences on this tragedy. And Nazira, never think you are alone. Our entire batchmate fraternity is with you and will always be giving you emotional and moral support. We are like a family and you need have no inhibitions on that score. And you must live your life to the fullest as Bash did. And that is what he would have liked you to do also. So, what I'll do first, we have some messages from friends, condolence messages, which I will read out, and then people, those who want to wish to speak, they can. Anana, I'm not reading a message since you are here. A message from Jayant Majumdar, who then states, a sad day for all of us. I remember him as one of the staunch veterans of our batch, jovial as ever. Please convey our condolences to his family. May his soul rest in peace. He adds further, I remember we were perhaps the last to leave your house on 8th February after the joyous 2013 reunion. Even as he got into his car, he was spinning stories about how he had kicked the habit. He waved his e-cigarette. That was his way of saying goodbye. Farewell, my friend. From Amitabh Mukherjee again in states, words fail me to express my feelings about Bashir's premature demise. It's comforting to realize that he is no more than a thought away from us and he is in a far better place. Bashir was a raconteur par excellence and his legacy of uproarious storytelling will live forever. Attached is a photo from this year's reunion at BK's. Even as we were preparing to leave the party, guess who is still relating another parting funny story. May Bashir's and Nelson Mandela's souls rest in peace. We are very thankful that they were around during our lifetimes. BK, please convey our sincere condolences to Bashir's family with fond memories, regards and very best wishes to all of you. Another message from Amit Dev from Bombay. Hi BK, thanks for informing. How sudden and sad. While I pray for the peace of the departed, please convey my condolences and grief to the bereaved family. The losing of our friends is a reminder, nothing is forever. We still miss you, Bashir. Shankar, of course, is here, so you'll... Another one is from Ramana Murthy from Bangalore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dear BK, when we were living in 22 Lee Road, Bashir was my end of the road neighbor facing the South Club. To note, I have lost my next door neighbor is indeed a very rude shock. He would be fondly remembered for his pranks. Please convey our condolences to his family and to the apple of his eye, their reputed single-digit golfer son. May his soul rest in peace. From Ashok Jetka in Calcutta, I am simply stunned to learn the sad news. Since last few days, he has been constantly in touch with me via emails. I even received one yesterday, which was 2 days before. God only knows that is going to happen the next moment. I have simply no words to express. God rest him in peace. Dilip, of course, is here. Supro Mukherjee again, Canada. Dear BK, writing from Montreal, I regret my inability to attend. Bashir's passing away is of immense sadness and shock. It was just the other day at our reunion this year that we joked and laughed, and I learned all about e-cigarettes. I will always remember Bashir's joviality and his infectious humor. I cannot imagine someone in a sour mood after meeting Bashir. He was like a radiant light that made one laugh and cheer up. He talked with great pride about his golfer son. As a struggling golfer, I look forward to seeing his son play one day. I will be very grateful if you could convey our heartfelt condolences to Bashir's family. This one is from Yaya Bayat from London. Bashir and I were in class together since 1956. He was an extremely good-hearted person with a perpetually smiling face. And his good humor is known to all at the reunion parties, which sadly I have not been able to attend. Shahid Siddiqui has well matched his name to his personality. May God Almighty now enjoy Bashir's good humor. He writes again, I think it started with Alan Fernandez and Juju Singh quite a few years ago. We have lost quite a few classmates. May they all rest in peace, particularly the recently departed. Bash was in class with me, his brother Jahid with my brother, and his sister Rehana with my sister in Loreto. I regret that I will not be at the condolence meeting, but please remember me to them and his wife and kids if they are there. Regretfully, I don't think I have met his wife and kids, but I did know his parents, uncle and aunt. All my best wishes to many, many friends, quite a few of whom I have not met since 1961. From Firoz Naziri, he is unwell, so he couldn't come. I was deeply saddened to hear of Bashir's sudden passing. I had no idea he was ailing. It came as a sudden shock that someone with joie de vivre and joviality, who was always the life of every party and gathering, could be snatched away so suddenly. My wife made it a point to attend the ladies' prayer gathering in his memory, which I could not attend due to my ill health caused by a severe viral infection. My deepest condolences and sympathies to the family. He was a good man with his heart in the right place and never bore ill will to anyone. With the passing away of so many of our batchmates this year, I have become increasingly philosophical. Life can be likened to a one-day cricket match, with all of us playing our final over. My abiding memory of Bashir is his being surrounded by friends, regaling everyone with his jokes and his individual brand of humor. In fondest memory of a dear colleague. Shahid Siddiqui writes again from America. Deeply grieved, condolences to his family. His presence had left an indelible impact. His memory can best be beautified by any act of goodness in his name. A name which means a messenger of good tidings. The related word means smiling, welcoming personality and an expansive demeanor. Our prayers are with him for eternal peace, which no doubt he is blissfully absorbed in. He concludes on a very philosophical note. The grief interfused with sparkling emotions comes to the words of all. I have no doubt that Bashir's scintillating persona will shine through the tears as well as the group meets tomorrow. This effort is a testimony to Becky's pristine leadership over 50 years and to each one of you as you have labored to build this edifice of love. May this group be an example of grounded inclusion and constructive network for all. The spiritual tradition of St. Xavier's has much to do with this. This space and time may have been our destiny, for we had no control over it. But the use of destiny was the free will of each one of you. The reward of this selflessness will naturally be everlasting. These are the several messages that we received for Bash. Now, would like to speak, anybody, please?
Myself, Dilip Jaiswal. We started our schooling career together from 1951. And Naziri, Bashir, Hanan, all of us, were a small gang which we had. And I can't imagine that Bashir, since last so many years we've seen, he has never changed. The same youth, the same childishness was always with him. It seemed last when we met at his place, and most of our friends were talking that he is the youngest among all. मेरे को लग रहा है कि उसको नजर लगी क्योंकि
say that the only thing that he needs to, when he comes to his things, is his water bottle and tiffin box. He says the way he behaves with his batchmates, she used to always used to tell him, you take your water bottle and tiffin box because that's all that you need to go. He was so excited.
We never used to call him Bashir, we used to call him gangster. Because his name was Ganjee, but we used to call relative as gangster, you know. That was the word we used to call him, you know. And you see, Krit and myself, when I went to school, I was sitting next to him the first day, and Bashir was sitting in front of me. And when I was there, I was crying, I remember, and he was there. He said, "No, don't cry. I'm there with you." Bashir also said, "Look, he was a little plump." I said, "You are thin." I was very thin that time. And look, I will look after you. So this is how started. And now, all of a sudden, we find that he is no more with us.
Rest has happened.
You see, last time when we met, he was telling, and everyone was saying that he is the youngest among all. And with all
he came a bit late. So we were all saying कि अभी मजा नहीं आ रहा है. When Bash comes, then we really started talking. True enough, as soon as he came, he was cracking jokes
so lively.
From the entrance, and the people coming with
Absolutely.
him were laughing. And when he came and narrated his jokes, the whole crowd burst with laughter. It was Bash was like that.
You know, if you think of anything among all our friends, we always think first of Bashir's jokes. That is what it was.
Maybe
And
some of the
without
ladies
him,
turn away,
without him,
we really appreciated his jokes very much.
And there are so many things which we used to make fun with fathers and all. Of course, Hanan knows and all. It's not to be mentioned. But so we had so many things. Imaginary, which we fooled father also. We told that Bashir is acting and he is also making a movie, and when father said, "Okay, fine, you are in the class, but don't do all these things." Father Hardy was there, remember that. And father really believed that he is the director and he was the actor. So these are the things we did in the school, fooling fathers also. It was a thing. Like
So many
all this was created by him.
So many times he used to come over here. This time there was no hotel. And that was his garden house was here. His garden house used to be here, and we used to all come over here and play. Yeah.
So the thing was this, that he
Badminton.
So we all stood up. Father, he is a big actor, so he is busy with the schedules. So we can't, he has no time to do the homework. That was the story. We used to, tell father, and father said, "No, please." He used to talk like, "No, please, no, don't stop the acting."
And I'll tell you. Philip, all used to talk when he talks, he can hear. How he used to, Father Hardy used to talk.
That he's the director and he was the actor. So every time we used
And how you used to impersonate him, yeah.
With his schedule, so father, okay, oh no, please, but everything acting is okay, but you have to do the homework.
Philip, how you used to impersonate him, na?
Yeah.
Oh, with his beard?
Yes. Chewing his beard and all that.
Can I say something, please?
Yeah,
go ahead. It's a long, this what I made. Death asked life, "Why does everybody love you and hate me?" Life replied, "Because I am a beautiful lie and you are a painful truth." The painful truth is that Bashir is not amongst us anymore. We are here to pay our respect to the memory of a departed mate and a dear friend. It's a great loss for all of us, but that's life. Just a few months ago, we lost Kanai, Sharma and Dilip Kakkar, now Bash. My friendship with Bash started way back to the time of our school days. As fate would have it, even in school, we both used to take the same subjects. Latin instead of Sanskrit, Urdu, commerce instead of science. then college, BCom section S, then also same subjects, even French. I became attached to Bashir's family from his Moira Street days to his Bardwan Road bungalow. His marriage to Nazira, birth of their children, Farzana and Rahil. If I have to talk about his exploits and times with him, I have to carry on for hours. That was Bashir, full of life. He was my dearest friend and well cherished, and I'll cherish his friendship till my last breath. Not in my worst nightmare I ever thought I will reading this out. It's sad for all of us here who loved him dearly. Of all his characteristics, there is not one person in this room that will deny that their overwhelming impression of Bashir was that he was built for laughs. His sense of humor and ability to remember good jokes was amazing. Most of all, he had this admirable quality of laughing at himself. And with his penchant for limericks, this limerick on my tombstone I wish to be read, include my name, birth and death dates, I said. Now it's time to reminisce, cause if you're hearing this, then it's quite obvious I must be dead. Then in the legacy he leaves behind, he'd hate for us to be mourning his passing. Rather, he'd have us celebrate his memory. As he might have said, you insist that I only choose one finite human or God in the sun. Man has long pondered this, but as to my wish, I'll face death and have all the fun. In closing, I am sure we would all acknowledge the important part his family played in his life. Nazira, Farzana and Rahil, we both love you. We love you all. In this, we have also with us his daughter-in-law, Maitri, and sister-in-law, Nazira. We are there for you. Nazma. Our vote of thanks to Bridget and Dilip for making this evening possible. Thank you very much all.
Bashir, dear buddy, wish you hadn't cracked this one on us just before we were about to meet again for a few more laughs. Once again, the feeling, it was a tad too early, you know. A good many of those endless gags and quips will now wait till we join you and our other departed buddies. One by one at a reunion party in the promised land. We have many visions of you here, the last one with your hallmark electronic cigarette, relating an unprintable riptickler. Meanwhile, rest in peace, pal, and keep a few yarns on the back burner. We all love you a lot, as Jipu said, just a thought away.
There's no tar, it's only nicotine. Nicotine is not bad, so it must be good. In fact, when they went to Mauritius, he was trying to smoke it on the plane.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, when you stop smoking that.
No.
Can you get away with it?
Tried it, and then he was waiting for the people to go up and down and then look and then take a puff. And then I said, for God's sakes, don't leave it out there, at least look.
That's what he did.
So he opened his shirt in between and then he used to let the steam go down.
And then laugh.
He thought that it was the future of tobacco, like it would replace all cigarettes. And he was like a brand.
He was marketing
out of these cigarettes.
Yeah. So Uncle sent
He's
it.
the agent, the seller.
Yeah.
Cuckoo's a culprit.
Cuckoo.
Yeah. But
Cuckoo should
Cuckoo
be
Uncle would quietly sit at home and do it. Pop would
His favorite
have his
thing.
own propaganda about.
His favorite thing. I remember when I came back from America. This is right. First thing I'm meeting him the first time after 2 years. Well, actually after that year, and then he opens the door for me, and then of course he's got this cigarette in his hand, and I've already heard the story. So he goes puff, and then into his pocket, and then he waits for me to ask him, how did you do that? But he doesn't know that I already know. So I didn't. I think he was a little annoyed that I didn't ask him about that. But,
There's one picture of him with it here.
yeah, that's immortalized with it.
No, like what Nia Dilip was saying about Nia joining school for the first time and crying. When the kid Nia telling him, now we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
So I still remember Bashir. He joined Urdu classes. Urdu classes with me. And we, as like Bashir was a bada sa brown saab, I mean, because he was always talking in English. And his family was also, really English, always talking in English. Bashir used to tell me that he always dreams in English also. So,
Tried to get some
and then
friends.
I remember Nazira that Kenya, when we were in school, we used to take Urdu classes, and Wasmi was a school Urdu teacher, and I tell you, first he used to because I never knew Urdu so well, so he used to say, "Hey, the Bengali, what is this fellow is a Bengali? So how will he know Urdu?" And then there was Mateen. There was some other Bayad also. I mean, but Mateen, and there was another friend of ours who was in Urdu class, and he used to say, "Oh, these people are Ahle Zaman. They know Urdu so well. Hanan Bengali, it's going to take some time. But Bashir, oh, to Sahab hai." And I won't believe it. I still remember that day in Urdu class, where Bashir, the Urdu teacher went after him about Urdu, and I can see teardrops falling. He was so sensitive. He was so sensitive that day. But after that, he became so tough after college, where he was doing weights, and then he was always like joking and really. And I remember one more instance in class was when Egi D'Souza, if you remember.
Yes.
And there was another friend of mine called Kuljit Kohli. Kuljit Kohli and Egi D'Souza had a fight in class. Then Egi D'Souza told Kuljit, okay, let's go out at the back gate and we'll sort it out. Bashir is telling me, hit him first and all that, then once he's winded, then you hit him and all that. So I went with him. I just said, kya hoga, kya nahi hoga. So we went down. And Kohli was a thin guy and all. Egi was also very thin, Egi D'Souza. So back gate, hostel gate. So before Kohli could hit him, he missed. And Egi started giving him. And Bashir was sarcastic, what happened? So this is all this a long time, this was school, this was school.
But tell me one thing, how did Bashir pass his exams? He never studied.
Don't tell me, he was a better, I can say I was a daddu, I was a daddu. Bashir was a better student than me and all that. But Bashir always used to say one thing.
I know.
Then Bashir used to tell me one thing. What happened, whether it was Urdu or any other language. So he talked with me. Sanjay, he said, give me the paper. I've not learned. I've not studied. So I said, I gave him the paper. He copied all things. He passed, I failed.
This is something I remember.
This he always told us. He was a football goalie.
Goalkeeper.
I think he was only promoted because he was a good goalie.
I was bad. I never studied.
He was never good in studies.
These people were all really good at their studies.
Did she take part in the fat boy
Yes, she
race?
did. Obstacle race.
He got stuck in a
He
barrel.
got stuck in a barrel.
No, that was Mateen who got stuck.
No.
Bashir also.
Yeah.
और sack race में he came last.
हम लोग की क्लास में और था
Who had that car?
नहीं
Who had that mobility.
अरुण दे की बात है वो मोटू था
Mobility मोटा सा.
वो बैरल में फंस गया था तो यार
It was easier for me to speak last time. I think today inside it's trembling a little. I find it difficult to talk. He hasn't come home. But think he's taught me so much. He's made me very strong. He's forced me to get behind the wheel, drive. He's pushed me through school. I didn't want to take up the headmistressship. He said, no, I'm sure you can do it. But once in a while he'll say, you're so disorganized. I don't know how you run a department, you know. And one day there was a friend who came to my office. Her daughter was sitting for an entrance exam. So she sat there while I did my work. I had a boy working for me. His name was Bashir. So I would say, Bashir, open this. Bashir, bring this. Bashir, don't do this. Or Bashir, go here, go there. So afterwards she told me, she says, now I know. Whatever you can't tell Bashir at home, you are trying to take it out on him over here. He always, talking about being a brown sahib, I don't know whether you know, when he ate his mango, he always cut it into two. He never used his fingers for anything. Cut it into two, slice it, twist it, put one side there, take a spoon and scoop out this thing. He scooped out this thing. He ate roti and dal with fork and knife. He ate idli and dosa with 2 spoons. You know, he taught many Rahil's friends, Farzana's friends, how to sit at table, how to eat with correctly the fork and the knife. He's taught me a lot. He's talked about the salty almonds he used to love in school. He said that one, I think some father told him, Ganjee, if you don't watch it, you'll end up selling China Badam in Victoria Memorial. And I'm sure you've heard about the days when he used to work out and then he used to flex his muscles on the car outside Loreto House. You know, he was quite a donjon. He was. I never thought he'd marry somebody like me. He had so many of those, you know, swanky girlfriends, and I used to take the phone calls. I used to transmit, you know, messages, you know. And then one evening, it was Christmas Eve or something, got a message in about 8 o'clock, and I said, Bashir, your phone? Okay, he came along, he took the, yes, okay, I'll meet you, I'll pick you up at 9 o'clock or whatever. So he went at 9 o'clock. 11:30 or so, another phone call. I said, where's Bashir? Where's Bashir? I said, now I knew that Bashir is gone with X. Now why was calling? And I said, I'm sorry, but he's not here. Oh, how can he go? I said, he's gone out already. What time did he leave? I said, he left at 9 o'clock, but it's 11 o'clock, but he promised to pick me up. So I couldn't say that, you know what, you know. So I even went to Bombay with his parents 1 year. After I went there to look for a girl for him. You know, we used to receive. She was a very beautiful girl. Her name was Nazakat, and Nazakat. So auntie told me, Nazira, she's got sexy legs. I said, yes, auntie, you know, will do. And very rich family, Khoja family and all that. Then once at home, somebody had come, brought a daughter from Bangladesh, and we got everything ready in the garden. Bashir will come and we must fix up this marriage. And so the girl came, and auntie and we took her around the house to show her, you know, this is where you have to say yes, he's a good boy now. It was about 5 o'clock, Bashir didn't turn up. We were waiting for him, they were ready to go. Then suddenly on his motorbike, he came in with one of these sleeves all rolled up, holy t-shirt with Kokon Gupta, and broom, he made his entrance. And then he said, "What rubbish are you fixing all this?" You know, didn't think of, his mother was only too happy when the day, I remember the day I was leaving, the two of them got into a fight, and who was going to weigh my luggage? Because I was leaving. Both of them were. My mother-in-law had leukemia, and she wanted me to come. She didn't want me to go back home at all. She said, "Tell your parents to come here. Then we'll solemnize the wedding, and you stay here because I'm not well." But I said no. I had to go. I owe them that one thing. I had to go, and she was upset. Bashir was upset that I was going. So the only thing the only way they could express it was to just fight. Who will weigh my luggage and who will pack my luggage? And it was difficult. And she was just dying. She said, "Darling, I won't tell anybody." I said, "Unless my parents know, please don't tell anyone that we have fallen in love, that we want to get married, because they don't know yet." She said, "Can I just tell the bua? Only the bua, and from the bua, that bua and that one, and honey, everybody get to know." And she was dying to tell, Nazira is going to be my daughter-in-law. And once when Kokon, I wasn't here when she was passing away, she met Kokon, and Kokon told me, she said, if only she just could come and I could hand over my keys. She went to the nuns to say that also. She was the wonderful lady. She was a wonderful lady. And a lot of that goodness was in Bashir also. Bashir was, I'm sure you'll have a little bit of problem, forgetting his cackling. I think he went, Bash went with a bash, He was always in good spirit. That is because he loved his spirits also. He was he always said, his policy was eat, drink and be merry. And for tomorrow we die. Diet. Yes.
Eat, drink and be merry, for tomorrow we may die.
And he used to say, and he said, I don't care, it's a short life. Lately, I must tell you, after the house we left the house, we shifted to this flat in Sonali. I think Bashir had the joy, the peace of mind, which he hadn't had for many decades. He had his problems, he was under pressure, but during these 6 months, I've seen a different Bashir. He even of course, Tolerant Club was his first home. Yeah. When he had time, he used to come home too, And as I said, always had somebody waiting for him. Somebody say, have a drink, but lately, I would say, aren't you going to the club today? He said, no, you know what? I'll just have a drink outside. He'd watch the planes following and during Diwali, he said, let them spend their money. We'll just watch the crackers without free. He really sat, he watched the sky, the stars. He was peaceful. Deep inside me, I know one thing. He had these 10 days with our daughter, out of the blue. When I told her, I said, Farzana, can you just, you think you can come? He's telling me, how impractical you are. How can she come for 1 week? So much money. I said, Bash, one day you can't understand. Yes, I know. I don't have feelings, it's okay. But she came out of the blue for 10 days. And of course, I cooked the best dishes for her. But Bashir enjoyed it all. I must say he enjoyed his food. He enjoyed it. There was always that last paratha, अच्छा भून के रखा है, अच्छा तो बना लो, अगर है तो बना लो, and butter. If the eggs were small, Nazira, they're so small. I mean, two not enough. Put his third one, with the pyaz and the tomato and the parsley and the red mircha. He enjoyed his food. He enjoyed his drinks. And we had almost 2 months in Mauritius. He read 11 books. He didn't even step into the sea. He chose a balcony, a place with a balcony. He sat there morning, evening, and just spent time just by himself. And of course, I was there. And he really was peaceful. And I think he enjoyed the last 6 months. I have to thank the Lord for his thing, and I must thank you especially, the two of you. Every year he used to look forward to that one day where he'll go, and really he was like a bulldozer. The moment he comes in, then he'll start cracking a joke. I did have a joke he left in his thing, but I said no, I can't say that kind of joke. It was the difference, between what? In a girl and in a girl between from the 18, 28, 38 and 58.
All the way to 68.
All the way to 68. So if you can find out, so I think you will remember him. It's just that I don't understand, where he is and how if with that kind of heart damage he had, if he had lived on, he would have been like a wounded animal in a cage, frustrated, unhappy, and that wouldn't have been. In a way, we all have to go. So I think we all say that God writes down the time, He gives the time when we have to go. But Bashir chose his time. After the doctor told him, after Rahil told him, after Munuko talked to him and said, Bash, you have to do the correct thing, you have to stop moving. He thought about it, and I believe that he realized that life after that wouldn't be worth. And I can't believe that God had almost granted his wish and took him at the best time, laughing.
You see, he went with his boots on.
Yes, he.
It's a blessing in disguise.
In disguise,
Because
yes,
all through life he had one way of living.
And he was waiting.
Didn't want to compromise with a bed.
Nothing. He was waiting because my sister was coming. Have you made a list? You're never organized. Make a list of what you're going to cook and which club will take her where. And the same way she looked after us in Mauritius, we have to look after her when she comes here. I say, yes, let her come first. Besides, what is there to prepare, So he was a very good fellow. I think.
He used to frequent the swimming club also?
Yes.
At one point of time.
When he was swimming, the doctor told him.
He was a member of 7 clubs.
Saturday club also.
5 clubs,
I
yes.
remember that, but he went.
And RCTC also, he was also a standing member.
He used to say that I never became a member of CCFC because it's very dangerous for my health. With me, have one drink with me. At one point I think he had 6 drinks lined up. He hadn't even, and it was already some 11:30 or 12 o'clock at night.
Oh God.
And he enjoyed it. I asked him the day before he passed away, because in the morning she didn't come, in the evening she didn't go. So I went both times. In the morning I asked him, so you enjoyed yourself 6 months, didn't you? And he didn't say anything, but he smiled and he nodded his head very vigorously. So he's enjoyed himself a lot.
He had a beard kind of thing growing, and he told me, look at look at me, look at the way. I asked, I said, you know, the Baba's come, please have a shave, looking like an old man. I asked the Baba, I said, kya kiya mera Shah Rukh Khan ka saath, kya kiya hai? So he said, you know what, I'm going to let it grow and I'm going to go to the club like that. Club, Dollygunge was his first home. And when he had time, he'd come to the house. You know. But he always came home for dinner. That lately he hasn't been coming. But I think he has made me strong enough. He's given me 2 beautiful children, and he was particularly fond of my daughter-in-law. She called him Pop, and he called her Poppet. Poppet. And she'd come and say, Pop, today you have to say that I'm looking beautiful. Oh yeah, no, say it nicely. Say how lovely I'm. Say you are very beautiful. She said, okay, you are very beautiful. Yes, he was very. So when he told me, you know, when he was sick, there's this FD maturing and this. I don't know what he was talking about. And then he looked at me and he said, why am I wasting my time with you? Where's Maitri? You know, where's Maitri? Where is she downstairs? Because all he trained her up how to put a tick where, and you know, how to put the date on the right, not on the left. And of course, she hadn't been to an office, so that was a big thing. So he had to train her, you know. He was very proud of her. And he really, I think, trusted him more than Rahel and I. We were useless. He didn't have. I must thank you all for, I'm sure you've shared his salad days. You've known all that he was about. Fatty old Bash. Thank you so much. I mean, you've given, he loved your company. He loved to, Bash went with a bash. He really, and that every year, once a year, that yearly dinner we used to have, even sometimes I couldn't make it, but he couldn't, he would never miss it. It was too important. You people were always important. And the doctor said, you've got 20 years. I said, my God, I'm 20 years older and he's 20 years younger. And he said, remember, I'm a good Muslim, I'm allowed 3 more. And you know, Majli Bibi and Nanni Bibi, I said, forget it. You try it out. They were very charming, he loved to have company and well, he's enjoyed his life and gone. We have to pray for. I hope he can charm the Almighty up there, because religion for him, he said, religion for me is humanity. I mean, you have to be a good soul. You have to be, you know, not this thing. You know.
He believed absolutely.
He was this thing. He was. I used to, when I fell in love with him, I never looked at him up there. I always looked at his sandals, and he was. I knew how many girlfriends he had, so I never thought that he would. When he asked me, "Will you marry me?" I said, "You don't have to. You don't have to." He said, "No, I don't have to. I want to." And then he came all the way to Mauritius alone. All alone, and the only person from his side, the Bharat, was my sister. Yes, because he knew she had gone away when I went. His mother passed away, my mother passed away in November. So we just got married. About 40 days later. He couldn't wait. My mother-in-law also said, "You have to come home," because there was nobody. After we came home, Rehana got married. I took over the house.
But he did it in Mauritius also. The minute he landed, he was a charmer. He had drunk for 5 hours in the plane, and he came, and all my aunts were there to see.
There was a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, who fed him, gave him all the drunk.
But I reached home 1 week before him, and he came after. And I knew when he was coming down, he'd had so many drinks. And my father was a staunch Muslim. I was in my shoes because I thought, my God, what is my father going to say?
Cancel the marriage.
A sula in Creole means
Drunk.
an alcoholic. You know? So I said, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then he came with a big smile. Everybody was there waiting for him, all the old aunts. He kissed them, all the women, one after the other. He kissed all of them, and then in the car he sat next to my father, and I was next to him, so I was wondering, my God, now what is my father going to say? Has he smelled the booze? And my father, of course,
Understood.
son-in-law coming, didn't say anything. And from that day onwards, he danced with all my old aunts for the wedding ceremony. He enjoyed himself. He went around Mauritius in a car, and
at the back, there was always
16 bottles
empty
of beer
bottles at the back.
every day. So, and whenever I used to come to India, he would tell me, I said, Bash, what do you want from home? He said, don't forget whiskey, cigarettes. Then it went from whiskey to single malt. And he made my education on whiskey and the number of years and which one you should take, spelt it out. And last time he said, I'm giving you $100. You buy me the most expensive one and you come. This time when I was going to come, I said, Bash, don't be silly, that's the only thing I bring for you. He said, no, I want you to buy the most expensive one. So in Dubai, I just stopped, and I was in front of the duty-free shop, and I said, I promised myself I won't walk again anymore in a duty-free shop because all the time it was for him. That's all. Like as soon as I would walk in the house, he'd look at the bag. He said, oh, you got it? And that was it, And he called me. He said, I've had my checkup, everything is fine. After drinking, having a good time at home for 2 months, I said, Bash, no bullshit. You haven't drunk for 10 days, and the doctor, you fooled the doctor, you're not fooling me. I know what's happening.
In fact, this thing what you're telling, last time when you had come for Dilip Kakkar's this thing, he said, look, I have got all the vices and I'm so hale and hearty, where the people never used to drink, never used to smoke, and they have gone up. That is what he said.
But tell me one thing, you used to drink so much, would you ever get tipsy?
Not at all.
Okay,
when he got
got tipsy, he would always laugh and be merry. No, never.
When he got older, of course, it was but tipsy a little bit. But when he was younger, never.
He could drink all of our friends under the table.
Never.
Even when we had parties at home, when we had people over, he'd come and he'd again just be the life of the party, and he can outdrink everyone in that room and still stand on his feet.
You remember when he came home once, I think in 2003, 2004, and he told me, what's there to drink now? So I said, go, the bar is there, Bash. Please just go and see what you want. And of course I knew he was coming, so we filled the bar, my husband and myself. And my husband is not a drinker, so we made provision for him. And when he left, there was nothing. And one of my friends came, Jacques came with a bottle of Shiva Surya. I stopped him. I said, you don't walk in the house with that. He's going to take a flight this evening. I want him to go in one piece. So please take back your bottle to the car. So he took back the bottle.